Hey Rebels fans, Andi from StarWars.com here again at Lucasfilm headquarters. This week we saw Hera go head to head with Thrawn in her own home, and now I'm here to take you behind the scenes and show you how it all came together. So grab a priceless family heirloom and get comfortable in your chair. Rebels Recon starts right now. After saving Hera's father from the Empire, the Ghost crew embarks on a mission to save a valuable family heirloom.
That heirloom was important to my mother, and I'm not ready to give it up yet.
Sneaking into her childhood home, Hera and Ezra find the Calicori, but not before being captured by Grand Admiral Thrawn.
It is a pity our first encounter might, well, be our last.
During a botched prisoner exchange, Hera destroys her family home in order to allow her new family to survive.
I have you, I have my father, and I'm surrounded by my family every day.
This week saw Hera reunite with her father, Cham Syndulla, to try and save her family's history on their home planet of Ryloth. I sat down with cast and crew to talk about what life was like during the Clone Wars for the Syndullas, why family is so important, and what it's like for our rebels to face Grand Admiral Thrawn. Watch. We learn a bit about Hera's history in Hera's Heroes. How much of that did you know already?
I had certain inklings, clues that were in the Clone Wars. I could sort of thread things together, probably as most fans did, but it was really cool to learn more specific details about her history. I've heard the phrase, the person you should fear the most is the one with nothing to lose. So I thought it was interesting to find out exactly what she had lost and what was in her history to create a scenario in which she was so at the bottom of the barrel that she would risk everything for the rebellion.
This episode gives a glimpse into Hera's childhood as they explore her home. Can you give us any more background on what her life was like before and during the Clone Wars?
Her growing up was very challenging because her father was always in the middle of political battles and military battles, and that's what she's seen.
Part of the reason he was such a successful leader in wartime is that he was a leader in peacetime as well. So Hera grew up as the daughter of a politician, and we had this notion that her childhood home was almost like the mayor's mansion. Not only do you have this sense of violation that Hera's world is being invaded, but her childhood home has been invaded as well.
She's probably, as Thrawn was saying, forged by war. Her resilience and strength as a character is really evident when you kind of see where she came from. You understand, meeting her father, why she's so strong.
Ezra escorts Hera through her home. What do you think that adventure means to those two characters?
I feel like Ezra's relationship with Zeb, we've seen that grow, and the brother bond that they have. Chopper's always with him. Sabine, they have that relationship. Kanan is almost like a pseudo-father in a way. And Hera, that relationship we haven't seen the full potential of that, and I think that's a really cool thing in season 3 because it grows even more after that. But that was a big step in, I think, more of like a mutual respect for each other as well, because no one really knew Hera's backstory.
Does the Calicori have any real-world inspiration?
Yeah, the idea of a heritage quilt, where each generation of a family will add a new square to it, yet it's all there for everyone to kind of look back on the past and get a sense of the personality of their ancestors.
We wanted it to be connected to her mother because we put so much emphasis on her relationship with her father. The more that we realized that it was important to be a representation of family and that each generation could add to it. So as a result, it's something that Hera can then further customize as the series continues.
The Rebels finally come face to face with Thrawn in this episode. What have they learned about their adversary up to this point?
Really, they don't know what they're up against. They had a narrow escape with him and steps into shadow. I think the idea is he's not really well known, and partially why is because any rebel outfits that he's come into contact with, he's wiped them out.
One of the key things about Thrawn in our series is that for him, a victory is getting a piece of information they didn't have at the start. And that's a different victory scenario than our heroes are used to. They might think, hey, we got away, but they don't stop to think and realize what they've now told Thrawn about them.
I really wanted Thrawn and Hera to be kind of adversaries. You have to understand the Thrawn-Hera dynamic, which is why he's brought into that episode. He has literally studied her and her family and her history. And because we're there in her home, he understands a lot about it. And it's one of my favorite scenes when he kind of talks about her.
Thrawn's interest in art is something that's been part of his characterization since Legends. How is that going to play into the stories you're telling here in Rebels?
I think one of the happy coincidences was was that early on in season 1, we knew that Sabine was going to be an artist. When we brought Thrawn into the series, he's going to want to study everything that there is to know about our rebels, and Sabine is the one who's been leaving calling cards.
There's an organic way to bring Thrawn into our stories by having him study Sabine's art, but also the art of Lothal. And there's plenty of artwork spread, and even in the Jedi Temple, there's the ancient artwork. So there's lots of opportunities for Thrawn to examine art and use it to dissect our heroes in the series.
Ah, coffee. My favorite part of the day. Oh, it's tea. Gross. Oh.
Believe it or not, I've once again managed to ambush the Lucasfilm Story Group's Pablo Hidalgo during one of his very important Star Wars research sessions to ask him one of your Rebels questions. What will he be reading this week? Let's find out. Hey, Pablo.
Andi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi,
What's up?
I've got a question for you.
Yeah, shoot.
Okay. SW Canon Reviews asks, canon reference works have stated that Hoppy defected with Biggs aboard the Rand Ecliptic, not Wedge. What gives?
Well, in much the same way that Sabine helped Wedge and Hobby defect, there's nothing to say that Hobby didn't do the same favor for Biggs further down the timeline.
Simple answer. Thanks, Pablo.
Sure thing.
Have more questions about Hera's heroes or any other Rebels questions you absolutely positively need answered? Tweet them to @StarWars using the hashtag Rebels Recon, and we'll answer what we can online. Now, because it's the end of the episode and you know I can't leave you without a clip, here's a sneak peek at our next episode, The Last Battle. Enjoy.
There was a battle here during the Clone War. This old transport's the perfect place to find weapons, ammo, maybe even some proton bombs.
Hey, was this a separatist battle droid?
Oh yeah, a piece of one anyway. This place used to be crawling with them. We called them clankers.
Clankers? I like that. How many of these things do you think you blasted?
I don't know, thousands. Probably tens of thousands. Never kept count like some of the boys.
Thanks for watching Rebels Recon. We'll be back next week with another brand new episode. In the meantime, check out the episode guide for Hera's Heroes on StarWars.com on Monday, and if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and download the Star Wars app. Thanks again, and may the Force be with you.